Crap with Beth and Matt. Cut to Crap is the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast. Hey friends and fellow no bullshitters, we are back with another episode. This week Beth and I talk about how we got into fitness and coaching and the growth of our respective businesses. We also discuss the future of the podcast, Beth's recent trip to Florida, my powerlifting preparation, and more. Let's go.
Bye.
Beth, there she is.
What's up?
Not much. How are you doing?
I'm acclimating to being home.
Yeah.
My alternator blew in my car.
Now, was that the same car you took down to Florida, or was it sitting there for a month?
No, well, my car actually went to the shop to get a tune-up. So it was all like ready to go. My husband actually picked it up the day we arrived. So it's not the same car we took. And then I went to get in it the next morning, go to the gym at like 6 a.m. I was ready to go. I'm like, yay, go back to the gym.
Crushing the home gym or the home location gym. Yeah.
Right. And it wouldn't start. So we thought it was the battery. And
that's what I figured too.
Wasn't the case. So
damn.
Yeah.
So much for that tune-up.
I know.
That's not something to look for in a tune-up, of course. So I mean, I'm not a mechanic. I don't even think you can tell if an alternator is going bad or not.
Well, that's what the guy said, because it just happens. It's something you can't like really predict.
Yeah, other than when your battery's going dead constantly, right? So
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
So tell me, like your 5-week long trip to Florida. I'm sure you're glad to be back, right?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I wish I missed the warmth. And being able to walk to the beach and see the sunrise every day.
Mm-hmm. I was super jealous of that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But 14,000 steps every day.
Yeah. Let's just put it out there that it really is so much easier to get steps when it's warm.
Absolutely.
I am on the fucking step struggle bus, which is crazy because when I was there, I'd wake up to see the sunrise, I'd walk there, not even paying attention to my steps.
Yep.
Then I'd go to the beach in the middle of the day, kind of walk on the beach, and then at night I'd go walk on the beach again. So by the end of the day, I got 14,000 steps. Yesterday, I was like, wow, I need to really work for this shit. So I ended up getting 11,000 steps yesterday, but I had to like walk in the morning, pace my entire house the whole day while I was on the phone, and then walk on the treadmill again at night.
Yeah, it's challenging, especially, getting back to your routine, your day to day. And I'm sure you're probably trying to play catch up a little bit because, you weren't working as efficiently when you were in Florida. So
no, it's hard to work with everyone around you on vacation and you're not.
Right. Right.
I did take extra time, obviously, but when you're running a business, you can't take a full 5 weeks of absolute vacation. There's just no way.
Right. You absolutely cannot. No, that's. Some businesses can do that. Some business owners can do that, but certainly not you or I. We're still the lifeline of our businesses. So
yeah, my husband, he owns a business, but he had someone running it here. So his is like a physical, he's a mover and he runs a moving company. So he was able to have a lead guy, and he actually gave the guy his phone, so he wasn't getting phone calls all day. He took
He was full
time off.
Yeah.
Yes. He's like, when are you going to be done with work? I'm like, oh my God, you have no idea. This is what I do all day. When you're not home, I'm working consistently.
Yeah. Right. But you're taking some nice steps in that direction though, because you just hired a new coach to work for you, right?
Yeah. I have a couple other coaches in mind, but it's just really like you right now, building systems. We just got PT distinction, and what I'm doing right now is I'm getting all my resources. So I'm creating PDFs. I'm going to be creating videos, and just for my clients or for everyone's clients. So it's going to be awesome. So whatever they want to know, we can just send them. Here's explaining what carbs, fats, and proteins are. Here's
big one.
How the scale works. There's just all the, we have journal prompts that we've created. So it's fun.
Yeah. Having that one-stop shop, right? Like you said, I'm currently working on that. My deadline for that myself and Jess created is the end of this month to have that client portal ready. Super excited for it. Because everything right now is on Google Drive, which it was great starting out, but as my business has grown from just me to now 5 coaches, and dozens upon dozens of clients currently and hundreds served in the last year alone.
Right.
It's no longer practical to keep it on Google Drive. And
no, I'm there with you. We were doing all Google and we're like, we can't do Google anymore. It's not working out. Like Justin, who's programming, is like, I can't fucking program in Google Sheets anymore. So
right.
it's just, we've outgrown it, which is a good thing.
For sure. I mean, yeah.
Are you using Kajabi?
No. So I was going to use Kajabi, but I am much more hands-on than that. So like I've got experience with web design and I'm very technical. And I love doing that type of stuff. So I'm doing it on a WordPress as the background, as the back end.
Yep.
And I'm building the membership site from there
Nice.
with just on WordPress. So
that's awesome.
super excited. I love doing stuff like that. That was actually my first passion, was web design. I created my first website when I was 15 years old. So I've been kind of doing that for, a couple of decades now, really.
That's awesome. That's a good thing to have in your little noggin.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe we get a Cut the Crap website at some point. So
yeah, right.
We definitely need one.
I know. Yes.
Maybe we talk about that when I come to see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then I have to reach out to my photographer, but we could take tons of photos like for that, I'm
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That'd be fun.
It's gonna be a good time. Everybody listening, we will be getting together in 2 weeks' time, and we'll be doing some podcast episodes together, some video collaborations, I'm sure, on social medias, and just planning for the future of our podcast. So lots of exciting stuff for us to come for the podcast. So
yes.
So with all of this talk about our systems and how our business is kind of progressing, why don't we look backwards a little bit and talk about where we came from as coaches, how we got started as coaches, and maybe even go a step further and talk about how we got into fitness. I think we've probably covered that a little bit, but like what the hell, like what brought us here, right? So
like, where did we come from? How were we born?
How was Beth Faracco Fitness and Matt Larfit and Fit Fat Training started? Like, with all the F-bombs and eat the fucking fruit and
that's
ketos.
Funny that like Fit Fat Training, right? So that's like your brand name, right? So that's where I'm actually in the process of doing that right now too, because
amazing.
I have to like come up with my mission statement and like basically it's not like going to be called Beth Faracco Fitness anymore, because
it's not just you.
It's not just me. It's more, we have a team. So now I have to it's a hard thing to come up with. So I'm racking my brain. So me and Hunter are going to work for like 6 hours. We set aside on Sunday just to like map everything out. And also I have to map out like my identity shift as now being more of a boss rather than, and that's a huge shift for me. And you as well.
Yeah, it is.
Managing people and like having that separation between being like not like a coach and then a boss, like telling people what to do and like trying to make sure that our coaches are happy, but then making sure that you're sticking with your mission at the same time.
Yeah, because we want the people that are on our team to be an extension of ourselves, right? And because they reflect our brand and our company. And we need to be very aware of that. It's definitely a challenge, but I'm excited for you. I know you and Hunter will come up with something amazing.
Yeah.
So do you want to go first or should I go first?
I'm sure I'll go first. So
okay, let's hear
start
it.
Like how I became a coach to where now I am.
Okay.
So
fantastic.
It really all started when I quit drinking. Everything I feel like in this field started when I quit drinking.
I love that.
Because when I quit drinking, I actually started my fitness at the same time. So there was an AA meeting down the street from my house that was at 7 a.m. And at the time I was a stay-at-home mom. So, my husband owns a business. So I had to make sure that I was home at like 8 o'clock to be home with my son, who was very little at the time.
Sure.
So I met a girl, her name is Allison. At 5:30 every morning, we met in town, and we did it was still warm. It was like August. So we were outside doing like boot camp type stuff. And she was a runner. She got me into running. She actually really helped me a lot, like in that just transitioning, running into strength and all that stuff. So we would meet and there was a couple other people that were with us. And I was literally the only one that stood and stayed and kept doing it. Like everyone kind of like trickled away,
Which is pretty typical.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll drop off some.
I would meet her. I would go right to my AA meeting right after that and then come home. So she got actually a personal training job somewhere else. So that ended for me and her. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like,
Yeah.
I want to like, work out, but I'm still like didn't really know what I was doing, kind of be afraid to be on my own. So a gym just happened to open up down the street from my house. So I started taking classes there. From there, I was asked, or they were hiring for a front desk person. And I was like, oh, I think I'm going to be able to do this. My son is about to go to preschool, so this will be perfect. Part-time job. So I started working the front desk, and then Hunter, who's actually like the CEO kind of my business right now, like, he's like, I feel like you'd be a really good coach. Do you want to start interning? And I was like, yeah. So I started interning there. And just from going to the gym, I was friends with a lot of women there, and we all had something in common. I mean, I was still on my weight loss journey. And I noticed a trend that everyone was going in there really crushing it, working really hard. And everyone was like, I just don't see any results. And we just never understood why. And I'm like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. So I'm like, I'm going to get certified in nutrition before I even get certified in personal training. Cause I was like,
Okay.
I really, nutrition, that's when I started following Jordan. I started realizing that nutrition really is number one.
Yeah.
So I got certified in nutrition. I actually joined the Inner Circle, Jordan Syatt, and I, learned a lot from him. And throughout that year, I lost about 20 plus pounds. So kind of like had my own transformation. Then I got certified in Mike Boyle's cert in Massachusetts, certified functional strength coach. I had to go in there in person and do that. And then I got my personal trainer cert.
Okay.
And from there, I just, worked there for like 4 or 5 years. It's been a while now. Before the pandemic, I decided that I was going to join Jordan Syatt's online fitness business mentorship because I wanted something for myself.
Yeah.
In case like something happened to my husband, I wanted to make sure I was able to take care of my son. Sure. Because my father passed away when he was 45, very young, and left my mother with literally nothing, with 3 kids. So she lost the house. She went bankrupt. It was pretty traumatic for our family. So I'm like, I just don't want that to happen to me. What if that was to happen to me and I had nothing?
Right.
So just then COVID hits, right? Like literally a month later. So I kind of got thrown into, okay, I'm doing this. I'm going to the gym got shut down. I'm no longer able to coach in person. I was doing Zoom classes and I was like, this is not how I want to live my life. Like, I don't want to teach Zoom. Oh,
right.
So, so I just started creating, I wrote an article, I built a website, started making TikToks. And like the summer of 2020. And that's just how it all began. Like really TikTok grew my business. I have to admit, like that platform really at that time was the place to be. So that's where it all started. And here I am now, helping a lot of women and now building a team myself because now my business has grown to the point where now I'm hiring other coaches and it's morphing into more. So I'm able to help more people, which is really awesome. That's really what we want, right?
Definitely.
Ditch the diet culture.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. So then what's the future for Beth Ferraco Fitness, or the name to be determined yet, but like what's on the future, like 3 to 6 months from now, or even a year from now?
Oh, wow.
Have you planned that far ahead yet? Or are you just trying to to keep your head above water right now?
Yeah. Like I feel like things are happening really fast.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to have the help that I have. And it's really creating, like, it's all like the business stuff, like creating the forms, the applications, there's so much learning. I mean,
there's no handbook for doing this shit online,
No. And it's really just consistent content, long form content, answering emails. There's just so much stuff that people don't understand. Like like DMs alone it could be a full-time job answering DMs.
Absolutely.
I have to like tell myself, okay, you can answer like 3 to 5 a day. Because sometimes they're very coaching questions that it just doesn't take us 5 minutes to answer. We have to actually read it and then like kind of like map out how you want to answer it. Come up with configurations, whatever it may be. And there's a lot of like back and forth, because it's not like we're going to be like answering your DMs with like, this is what you should do. Right.
Right.
Most of the time it's like, okay, we have to ask you questions and kind of like get you
without that context, you're doing nobody any favors.
Right. Like our job as a coach is not to tell you what to do, but to show you where to look, kind of.
Yeah. And ask you questions and get you there. And yeah.
So when someone's like, I'm this height and I weigh this much and how much do question. I need? And it's like, okay, hold on.
You've told me nothing other than your height and weight, right? Like there's so much more that goes into it than that,
And our intake questions for when we onboard someone are very long. Like it's legit like a couple pages of like in-depth questions about like injuries and medical history.
PAR-Q, right?
There's so much more to it than just here's my height and weight. Give me a fucking plan.
Which that you can generalize that stuff, and that's what we do on our social media platforms. With that type of stuff, but like a lot of that individualized custom answers and things like that, unfortunately, like that does require coaching, because that takes a lot more time and energy from us, where we need to be spending that on helping our current clients. Like we're here to help other people too, not just our clients, but at some point, we have to draw that line. And that's just comes to us setting boundaries as coaches. Like, we want to be able to help everybody, but it's not practical for us to help everybody. We drive ourselves crazy if we tried to. So that's the thing. It's like, I can't answer every DM. I wish I could, but it's really a good part of my day. It could be. Yeah, for sure. So, and I carve out a couple of hours every day for DMs for the most part. Now on the weekends, I don't typically get on DMs a lot. And unfortunately, like this is very, I won't say frustrating, but unfortunate. Like I'll somebody will ask me a question on Friday and I'll answer them, and then they'll come back to me and reply to me, but then I won't get back to them on Monday. And they're like, oh, I already signed up with another coach or something because you didn't get back with me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like over a weekend, like, like you're jumping the gun a little bit there, but all right, like best of luck to you. But like, I just trying to do our due diligence here. We need downtime too. Yeah, for sure. Right. And so that's Rocket Fitness. We'll be growing my team. I want to have, at some point, like a therapist on the team, a dietitian. Right now, Christy has her master's in nutrition, which is really good. Okay. And she's also a certified mindset coach like me. Nice. So that's pretty awesome. And then the rest of your team. So then you've got John on your team, right? Or not John. John's on my team. Justin. Yeah, Justin. He's like really good with like the strength training programming, and he's just that's his thing. He's really good at that. And then I have Hunter, who actually owns the gym, and actually was a coach. So and he's your right hand man, right? Part of my sales, and he does all the inside tech stuff, and he handles like problems with PT distinction and like the coaching aspect. Like he's taking like a lot of that. And then I'll be hiring like a virtual assistant, which I don't have yet. No wonder why you're so damn busy. Yeah, because then there's the emails that I have to answer as well. There's like got your mailing list, and you send out emails a week, and it's crazy. I feel you. Yeah. They're amazing problems to have, though. We're doing our own thing, and that's so rewarding. We're helping people in the process. We're building something for ourselves rather than somebody else. We love doing it too. Like I have to cut myself off from working because I love it so much. It's like I'm consistently. It's like, and we care so much that sometimes like I will wake up in the middle of the night thinking about like, did I help? Did I do everything that I could have for this person? Is there something more that they need from me, or is my coaching good enough? Is it good? Imposter syndrome. That's a real thing, though. Oh my God. No matter how many clients you get results with and how many people you help, there's always going to be that imposter syndrome a little bit. Yeah. So, and knowing that you can't help everyone, and that's like so tragic to me that if you aren't willing to do the work, there's nothing that I can do. And that sucks. We can't make you do the work. We can't do it for you. We can't do it for you. Yeah. Right. Yep. Hard truth right there. The best coach, the best plan. And if you don't actually execute it, Yep.
That's
Now, of
on
course,
you.
our job as coaches then is to help you figure out why you're not doing it, but that still requires you as still requires the clients to be open with us and have that open line of dialogue with us, which isn't always the truth or the case, right? So
Yeah.
if we can ask you the questions and help you get there, but like if you're not even communicating with us or not putting forth the effort, then it's going to be a bad time. Yeah.
That's the hard part, when the communication, which I always, when I was doing sales calls, I would let them know, like, the communication is really key. Like, there's nothing that I want you to feel bad about asking me about.
Yes.
And if I don't know, I can't help.
Yeah.
And so I find there are a handful of people that just don't communicate back for whatever reason it may be. Then had people ghost me out of like the blue. And that is, to me, like a punch in the gut,
It feels awful. It's an awful feeling because you're like, did I not do enough? What did I do wrong? Like, how could I feel like I failed this client essentially.
Yeah.
And we take that shit to heart. It's tough.
For sure. I just want to let people know that don't ghost someone. Like, be honest. Like, you're not going to get anywhere by just ignoring a problem. Or
we're not here to judge anybody.
Yeah.
We're here to problem solve. We're here to help.
Exactly. Like, I don't want anyone to ever feel bad, like they did something wrong. Like, you can't do anything wrong. There's no pass or fail test to this. There's
right. Yeah.
So
for sure. And on the ghosting aspects too, like even with I don't know how often you experience this, but I still do my own sales calls. And like I'll get potential clients coming on calls with me, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. This sounds amazing. And then when it comes time to do like payment and stuff like that, they just drop off the face of the earth. I've had people literally block me after the fact. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, if you didn't want to work with me, it's fine. I'm not going to be offended by it, but like, why? I guess at the end of the day, like I dodged a bullet, I guess, but like we have a real communication problem in our society.
Yes, I agree. It's like, if you don't want to do coaching, that's totally fine. Like, just say, it was great talking with you. I'm not interested right now. But like, I've had that happen too. And we've had like deep conversations where you're like, wow, I really want to help this person. Like, to the point where there was like some like strong emotional like exchange. And then to be completely like, here's your questionnaire. Can't wait to get you started. Just fill this out. And, then there's like nothing, crickets.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck happened?
Like you said, like, we're not here to judge you. We're never going to be disappointed in you. Like, if you don't want to, like, it's never any pressure with me. Like, I always tell people on the calls, like, this is no pressure. Like, let's just get to know each other. Let's see where you're coming from. And if this makes sense, like, maybe we can talk about it, but I actually tell people all the time on calls, I'm like, you know what? I don't think you need coaching. Like, you're doing great on your own. Here's maybe a couple things that you could work on, but like, you're fucking crushing it. I'm not going to sell you coaching if you don't need coaching,
Yeah. I've done
that's not what I'm here to do. So,
and that's the thing I think people should realize too. It's like, that's like, I've had to tell people no, and that's hard. Like, I want to be able to help everyone, but we can't. And some things are just not.
We're not just doing it just to get money from people. There are coaches that do that, unfortunately, but we're not. We're not those coaches.
No.
Just like clients can say no, or prospective clients can say no to us. We say no to people all the time because we just don't think we're a good fit, or we can't help them, or maybe they just don't realize they're doing great on their own. Which that's an awesome situation to be in. Like, no, you're crushing it. Continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah. If anything, you're going to get a coaching call.
Yeah, you get it because my consults are free, right? So yeah, hell yeah. So my background for coaching, a little bit of definitely different from yours. Mine started back in 2015 when I was starting to get serious about my weightlifting. I had just had a relationship that was ending, and I was consistently hitting the gym again for about 3 or 4 months at the time. And it was about 6 months or so, because it was towards the end of the year. And my dad had a stroke, a minor stroke, nothing serious, but once he got that taken care of and everything, it was a wake up call for him. And he turned to me for help getting strong in the gym. And I was just doing my own thing at the time. Actually, I was working with an online coach at the time to help me change my lifestyle and things like that. So My dad started going to the gym with me. I got him on a strength training routine with me. We were working out together 4 or 5 days a week. He started getting super strong, increasing his functional fitness and strength and everything, building lean muscle mass. He's tall and lanky naturally. So am I. And he was starting to build some nice muscle definition, working on the basic movements and things like that. And I loved the feeling that was given me, helping him get stronger. And plus, we were building up that relationship between myself and my dad, which is amazing. We were working out together, bonding over that. And then from there, my brother-in-law and my brother actually joined the workout crew with myself and my dad. And I had my brother-in-law, especially, his name's Tommy, started him on a workout plan with me as well. And he is naturally strong. So it's really unfair how naturally strong he is. Within like 2 months, he was bench pressing as much as me, he's tall, stocky, and really built and really strong naturally. So there I am, with myself, my dad, my brother, my brother-in-law, my closest family, right, working out with me, just getting strong, improving our health and things like that. So I was doing that for a couple of months. And from there, just naturally started gravitating towards more friends were wanting help and things like that. So that's how I started, was helping friends and family with getting stronger and working out. I did that as a hobby without ever doing training officially. I did that for about a year. And then I was like, you know what? I really enjoy doing this. I want to kind of do this part-time because I was working full-time in IT at the time, and I was very happy with my job, and I was advancing in my career and everything. So then I started looking at getting certified as a personal trainer. So I went down that route, and I started taking on more friends then as clients for free, just to get some experience under my belt. And I know we talked about this in the past, but like when we're first starting out as coaches and trainers and things like that, and I know Jordan Syatt's a big advocate for this model, is coaching people for free. Because I probably wasn't a very good coach back then. I knew the fundamentals and everything like that, but my people skills and how to relate to people I needed to hone those and develop those. So I worked with some friends for free in exchange for a testimonial, so I did that for a while. Part-time, I would wake up at 3:30 in the morning and go do a couple of training sessions in the morning, and then be on the road by 7:00 to go to my full-time job. So it was intense. It was fucking intense.
Wow.
And then in 2019, I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm burning out, I can't burn the candle on both ends essentially.
Yeah.
So I started looking to go online with it as well. And this was at the end of 2019. I started up my Instagram page, started posting workout videos and selfies and all that stuff like that you think you're supposed to do when you first get started.
Right.
So 2019 then comes into 2020. Just like you, I actually, I invested in online mentorship for online coaching to help me establish an online coaching business and get that going. So I spent a good chunk of change on that. To help me understand what the hell I was doing online and help me build my social media following and things like that, which that was just for Instagram at the time. Shortly after that, then the pandemic hit, right? Just like you, sounds like we got started at the same exact time. Pandemic hit, which for me, it was a blessing in disguise because I was already working on getting established online. Whereas so many other coaches and trainers were forced to go online at that time. So they were kind of behind the curve a little bit. Whereas I had already had that heads up advantage. I was already working on my systems. I was already working on my social media presence and everything like that. And then, like you said, spring, summer of 2020, got on TikTok. And I won't say the rest is history, but like you said, TikTok really allowed me to grow my business in such a huge way. Before TikTok, I probably had 5 to 10 online clients, which is nothing to scoff at. That was fantastic, but it allowed me to grow a lot faster than I ever would have thought was possible. In the middle of 2020, so I was doing nutrition coaching. I got my nutrition certification at that time. I started with just doing personal training. So I was the opposite of you, which is what most people do. They start with personal training and then nutrition, right? So the middle of 2020, I was noticing a trend with my clients. My client retention wasn't really that great. And what it was is because there was a missing component to it, which was the emotional eating and stress eating and just having that poor relationship with food, which I was well aware of those things and how to work on those things. But I took the step and I started collaborating with Jessica Power. She's the behavioral nutritionist.
Yeah.
And we started our partnership then. And she came on the team as our behavioral nutritionist to help people improve their relationship with food and develop an emotional tool belt, right, for food and exercise and things like that. So we have other coping mechanisms other than just food and help us get to the bottom of what our triggers are and things like that. So that was really what allowed me to take the next step as a business owner and coach, was bringing her on the team. And now Jess is actually, we've been working together now for like a year and a half at this point. Wow. And she's like, she's my right-hand woman in the business. She's, if I were the CEO, she's the COO, the chief operating officer, essentially. So she helps me a lot with strategy, with systems behind the scenes, and of course with clients and things like that. So
she's like a hunter.
She's my equivalent of your hunter. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yep. That's the hunter's thing too.
And then from there, I brought on Coach Kristen, who is a registered dietitian. Kristen and I actually connected even before the pandemic started. Her and I had started because of a client of mine. She was friends with a client of mine, and so we started following each other. And I started chatting early on with her, trying to form that relationship and everything, never thinking that we would actually work together. Because I actually initially reached out to Kristen as a registered dietitian. I wanted to have that referral network. I wanted to be able to refer people to her, right? Because I can't.
How did you find her?
From a former, one of my first ever clients actually was friends with her. So I remember my client, her name's Chrissy. She had posted a deadlift video of her deadlifting like 135 pounds for the first time with like amazing form, just hyping up and everything.
Yeah.
And Kristen had seen that video on Instagram and started following me, and I followed her back, and the rest is history, so to say. But brought her, so it actually worked out like we're just going to work together instead. So she came on team as a registered dietitian, as our expert for that. And then from there, TikTok just continued helping me grow my business and expand faster than I could even keep up with myself. So I was faced with, and mind you, I was still working full-time in IT and corporate IT at the time. So at that time I was faced with a hard decision. I wasn't happy with my job anymore. I was very unhappy with my employer. They had passed me over for a management position that they had essentially promised me and everything like that. They gave it to somebody external outside the company. So that was like, I was like, all right, well, fuck this, I don't need to be here, because I was making full-time income with my coaching business, and my job was actually keeping me from growing my business at that point. So I said, all right, well, here's my 1 month notice. I'm out of here, essentially. And they're like, what? Yeah. No, you can't do that. No, we need you. So they convinced me to stay. I stayed for another 6 months, actually.
Oh, wow.
Nothing with all the promises in the world, we'll fix all the problems. We'll bring on more people, because I was doing the job of 3 people and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, it'll get better. We'll fix all these problems. We understand you're overworked and burnout and things like that. Never, of course, it never fucking happened. Corporate speak there's just empty promises. So I just quit, in July of last year, I quit. I gave him another 1 month notice and said, this is it this time, so July of 2021, I went full time into my business. And since then I've added on another 3 coaches. I've added Coach John, he's our strength coach. Just like you have, Justin. And then I added Coach Liz as an amazing, strength, personal trainer, Pilates instructor, and nutrition coach. And then most recently, Coach Mel, which a lot of people probably know Mel because she does have a following on TikTok. She's a licensed counselor and therapist and binge eating disorder specialist. So she is our mindful eating coach on the team.
Love it.
So it's just amazing how fast our businesses have grown. My business has grown, and my business, we're just launching our rebrand right? Because everything before was just me, and I didn't want it to just be me, just like you, right? So we got new logos, new color scheme, new mission statement, and everything, right? I've recently been posting about that. So lots of exciting things coming forward. We got the client portal for our one-on-one clients coming soon. We got group coaching, actually, just like you have your group coaching.
Yes, group coaching. Oh, that's such a great option, actually. I
Yeah,
love,
so
I love the group coaching.
Yeah, you crush yours. I love the way you do yours. So we're doing our technically our second round of group coaching is going to be starting April 4th. So
Nice.
it's going to be called the Body and Mind Connection with Matt and Mel. Mel's going to be, it's a 12-week program focusing on mindful eating. So this isn't like a fat loss program or anything like that. Mel's going to be there for mindful eating to help you become a mindful eater. And I'm going to be there for workouts, helping you learn the basics of working out, planning your workouts, creating your own workout plans. That's the ultimate goal. By the end of that 12 weeks, you'll be confident enough in your own abilities and experience that you'll be able to take the foundations that I've taught you and start doing this on your own and building your own workout programs. So
nice.
12-week program, super excited for it. So we're going to start once this episode's out. I'll probably already be starting to promote it at that time. So lots of amazing stuff. And then of course, with you and I, who the hell knows what that's going to look like in the future.
I know.
With the podcast,
right?
With us getting together in a couple of weeks to talk about the future of the podcast. So
that's exciting.
And the coolest thing with TikTok and social media and everything is the networking that we've done, how you and I've connected and how we've connected with all these other amazing coaches and registered dietitians and just, doctors, everybody, like therapists, everybody's just, the networking has been amazing, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. The platform is changing.
It is. It is for the worse.
It's not the same. Really not the same.
It's and I probably posted one video in the last like 4 or 5 days. And people have been commenting and leaving me messages and stuff like, where you been and things like that. I'm like, well, first of all, I'm just crazy busy working on the stuff for my business, trying to get that stuff going with all these projects in place. But also I just don't enjoy being there right now. There's a lot of bullshit on there. So
yeah. The guidelines have changed.
Yeah.
It's just the reach is slow. And there's a lot of negative stuff on the FYP.
So much negativity. And as you and I have talked about this so much, and negativity is so fucking contagious and so draining. So we can just distance ourselves from that.
Yeah. I live a pretty positive life. I try to surround myself with a lot of positive people. And when there starts to be too much negativity around me, I'd back off. It's like, you know what? I don't want this in my life. When I was drinking, I loved the drama. I was fucking throwing myself in there oh yeah, let's drink and just talk shit all day.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm not that person. I don't want to be around that. Because that shit takes you down. It's
horrible for your mental health.
Helping people be have a better positive life. Right. And that just is not, you are who you surround yourself with, really.
Absolutely. Which is why I love this what we have here with our podcast. It's like our safe place, honestly.
I know, right?
We can say whatever the fuck we want. We can have on whoever we want. We can just crush it together. And
no one's going to fucking ban us for saying something,
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. Well, we could get canceled too. People are getting canceled from their podcasts and stuff now too, but we're not controversial in that way. We're not stupid. We don't.
Oh, what are you talking about? Joe Rogan?
Not Joe Rogan. Some of these other fitness coach. There's some couple of other fitness podcasts where they said some racist comments So
I haven't heard about any of that. See, I've been trying to stay away from it.
Yeah, exactly. And I try to stay out of it too. But people are like, "What do you think about this?" I'm like, "I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about."
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, most of the people I follow on TikTok are just followers and clients and things like that. I probably follow less than 50 other people in the industry, and I follow 600 people. So
yeah.
Whew. So lots of exciting stuff in store for us. That's for sure. Looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm super excited. You're coming March 20th, you'll arrive that evening, right? And then you'll be 21, 22, leaving 23, I think.
Yep. So I'll be getting in late Sunday night, and then I figure we'll spend the next couple of days together planning stuff, and we kind of started working out some ideas. We have to work on our agenda yet.
Yeah.
And then I'll be going home late Wednesday. So
okay. Did you find a place to stay?
No, I need to book that. I'll do that after this call because
yeah,
I'll do that. So,
I'm sure they're not booked.
Yeah, you
never know.
And I need to get a car too. So
yeah.
And then I get my powerlifting meet is next week, next Saturday. Oh my God, I feel like we've been talking about it forever.
That happened fast.
It happened so fucking fast, so fast.
You ready? As ready as you can be.
I am. I feel very good about it. We've been fine tuning stuff this last week with form. For instance, my deadlifts, on my lockout, my knees were kind of soft, and I'm competing in USAPL, which is the cream of the crop when it comes to powerlifting. They're so tough on their standards and their judging and everything. So my coach is like, yeah, you're going to get red flagged for having soft knees. So we had to work on that. So we just worked on some mental cues for me as I was lifting. Essentially, since I was having soft knees, we determined that the best way for me to fix that was to delay bringing my shoulders back. So essentially letting my shoulders stay over the bar just a little bit. So I was delaying my hip extension just a little bit more to compensate for that. But after this meet, we're going to take my deadlift form and set up and break it down and build it back up essentially. Because now that I'm getting into this heavier weight, my weaknesses are very apparent. And so right now we can just try to compensate for them, but long run, we need to fix them. So,
Woohoo.
Which I'm up for the challenge, this powerlifting meet has definitely opened my eyes to a lot of different things. And the main thing is, my mindset, and my focus in the gym. People probably think I'm an asshole in the gym right now because I'm not talking to anybody when I'm in the gym, even my friends and things like that. But when I'm in the gym, I have one goal. I'm there for one reason only, to get better, and I can't have anybody distracting me. So I just put my headphones in. When I'm done with my set, I go sit down on the bench and I just stare at the ground essentially for 3 to 5 minutes, however long I need to, because I'm just tuning the world outside off, just to focus. So
you have to.
And that's made me realize, like, man, I haven't really been training as hard as I thought I was this whole time.
Agree. And I get asked a lot, like, can you please film like your workouts and I don't try to be rude when I answer this question, but my workout time is my workout time. I'm on my phone so much that I want to go in there and I want to fucking crush my workout. Like, I don't want to get sidetracked about trying to make videos about what I'm doing. And that is just something that I need to put boundaries on for myself.
Sure. Absolutely. Boundaries are so fucking important in every aspect of life. And it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do is set a boundary and enforce a boundary. Doesn't matter in which capacity of life we're talking about, but boundaries are fucking hard, but they're so rewarding. So rewarding.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, I only have a certain amount of time to be there, and it will take away from my actual gym time.
Yep. For sure.
Fortunately.
Now I record a lot of my sets, of course, because I work with an online coach and I got to send it to my coach for critique and things like that. But even then, it's that's also why you don't see me post a lot of my workouts and stuff online, because first of all, that's his programming that he's creating for me. I'm not going to give that away to somebody else, things like that. So it's only fair. So it's not fair to him if I were to post that stuff online. So
it's true.
Which is wild. It's my powerlifting meet is Saturday, and then I come home, and Sunday I'm on a flight to come see you. So
woohoo! That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's in fucking 10 days.
Yeah. So wow. When you say it that way, I have two heavy workouts left today and tomorrow, and then we're gonna taper off and get and rest and get ready for the meet. So
nice.
Yep. So I saw you. You weighed yourself after your trip home, and you only gained 2 pounds on vacation, right? So let's talk about that a little bit. I'd love to hear your experience on that, because that could help some people.
So what's interesting, I talked about this with Ryan Casson. We did a live yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Ryan actually was my coach about 2 years ago, probably like end of 2019, beginning of 2020.
Okay.
I was like, kind of like consistently eating low calories, but not too low. Like, I never really knew what my maintenance was. So he helped me reverse diet and, get me to my maintenance and start eating more food. So, I've always been on and off of tracking calories, like, and I usually weigh myself every day. just to make sure that I'm staying around the same. So this trip, I didn't have a scale. I didn't, have any of the tools that I normally have. And I really was just intuitively eating. And I really actually ate out so much, more than ate in. Like, I think every night we ate out, besides maybe
you're in
couple
Florida,
nights.
so yeah.
And in Maine, there's not a lot of options to eat out. So I cook home all the time. Like, we really don't have like all the restaurant options that we did in Florida. So of course, we went to Mexican food and, we tried all different kinds of pizza and steakhouses. I had, of course, ice cream probably 4 to 5 days a week at least.
Hell yeah.
And Hunter and his wife were there, and we had other friends visiting. So we're always going out. So I just made sure, I had my normal breakfast, and lunch was usually like a pub sub, like stuff that I probably here wouldn't normally. I don't go to Subway
from Publix, right? You were like in love with Publix.
Yeah, I was obsessed with it. So, but I always made sure everything had lots of veggies. I stopped eating before I became like super stuffed. But I didn't let myself, I allowed myself everything. Nothing was really off limits for me.
You're trusting yourself.
And I still feel really good, even though, I did gain a couple pounds. Big deal. Like, I'm actually happy with, it's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll probably go down anyway, just by me normally eating my normal food again.
Your sodium intake is going to be drastically cut in half, probably.
Oh yeah,
just that alone.
For sure. And I joined a gym while I was there, so I was getting my 4 workouts a week because I was there for 5 weeks. I'm not going to go there there's no reason not to.
Yep.
So,
now if you were on vacation, would you have done that or no?
No. If I was there for a week or 2, no.
Hell no. Right.
Yeah. But I got like 14,000 steps a day. I got my 4 strength workouts a week, and I just I ate. I had fun. I have no regrets. At all.
I love that for you. Like you said, and that weight will drop pretty quickly, most likely, if you wanted to, or maybe naturally anyway.
Right.
And I love that, the eating intuitively worked for you for vacation, because that's what we're after here. We want that is how, that's the lifestyle change we're after. When we first start out, maybe we're tracking calories to raise awareness and to get a good baseline understanding of what the hell we're bringing into our body and what nutrition wise, like the nutrition density, calorie density of foods and things like that, because obviously I haven't tracked a single calorie for my powerlifting meet still.
Right.
I'm about 2 pounds as of this morning away from my goal weight. So I got to get down 2 pounds in 10 days. And that's fine, and just by like what you said, the same things, prioritizing steps. I've been doing 12,000 steps a day. I got my Aura ring working. So now I've got my tracker back. And then, just prioritizing protein from in there, lots of veggies, lots of fruits. And I'm still eating my favorite foods. If I want to have some Oreos or some ice cream, I've been doing that. And I'm not saying these things to say, oh, it's so fucking easy, everybody should be doing it, but it's possible with some work, with some honest work and effort on your own part. You can do it too. What we have to learn about yourself, and you have to learn to trust yourself and give yourself permission first and foremost, like just drop all these food rules and dropping diets and things like that.
Yeah, it really is about building the you diet, like I know now, like I built a lifestyle I can stick to. So I know what works for me, what I like.
And it didn't happen in 3 months, did it?
No, it took a long time. I had to hire a coach. I mean, it's not easy. I get that. And I think it's good to have a coach to guide you.
Yeah. I agree.
Just because I'm a coach doesn't mean that I still had to work on my relationship with food.
Yeah.
And now it's so much, it's so much better. This is where ultimately you want to be. And I'm like very, excited about that.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
It is super exciting. I hate the ice cream was fucking awesome though. I got to tell you. Oh
So
there's so many good flavors over there.
Yeah. What was the best flavor you had when you were there?
What did I have? I had something that was like, it was like a chocolate ice cream with like cheesecake in it. With like the graham cracker crust and like chunks of like cheesecake.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Fucking good with like chocolate sprinkles on top.
On like a waffle cone or something, or
I just got a cup I got like, the double, like
That's
2
fair.
scoops.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when I come to Maine, I need to get some fresh crab rolls or something, right? Lobster rolls or something.
Yeah.
So definitely have to hook me up with some good spots for that.
Sure. We'll do that. Yeah.
And hopefully the weather's decent, because I definitely want to get in some. I know I'm only there for 3 days, and it's mostly a business trip, but I definitely want to get in some hiking when I'm there. So.
I was going to say we could go for a good hike.
Awesome.
I live in we have hiking everywhere, so I've already been thinking about a good hike for us. That would be good for you to see.
All right, so, good.
If
you can give me a taste of what Katahdin's going to look like.
Well, none of this is going to be a taste.
None
of it.
So speaking of Katahdin, this isn't related to the Katahdin, but it sounds like I may be doing Mount Kilimanjaro in 2024. I think
I was supposed to do that for my 50th birthday.
Really? Oh yeah, man.
But, that's in Africa.
Yes, it is in Africa. Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of the 7 peaks in the world. So super fucking, like, if my friend that plans all these trips, she's planning it for 2024. It sounds like, as long as I can make it work, there's probably gonna be a lot of demand. She only takes a limited number of people on these trips and things like that. But I'll cut off my right leg to go on that trip, and I'll figure out how to hike with just one leg. So
Katahdin will be a good start. That'll be a good test of,
awesome.
For sure. I mean, it's the highest mountain in Maine. It's 5,284 or something, 5,000. I don't know. It's over 5,000 feet.
Amazing. I love that.
Above tree line. So that's the cool part.
Above tree line. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice. So that's in the clouds then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And literally it changes, the weather changes. Like you can be in 70 degrees and then suddenly you're at the top and it's 30 degrees with 20-mile-an-hour winds. So when you come, you have to make sure that you bring a packable, winter, rain jacket.
A lot of layers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Even I've got a pretty good pack because I've done a lot of mountain hiking already.
Yeah.
I'm actually going in April. I'm taking my son to Yellowstone National Park for spring break.
Oh, awesome.
And while we're there, we're also going to go to the Grand Tetons. So nice. I'm going to go this weekend and probably get him some hiking gear. So that's our first kind of trip like that. I'm really looking forward to it.
I love that.
I'm hoping this is what gets him hooked on adventure and things like that, so because he's 12.
I'm excited.
So,
yeah, I'm excited to take Johnny to Katahdin because I'm like, I don't think I think 12 would be good. 10, he's not, I don't think he has the physical capability right now to maybe last that long.
Yeah.
Because it's really fucking intense. So yeah.
But we talk about this hike so much on this podcast, everybody that's listening is going to just know this hike. It's like back of the hands by the time we're done.
wait till we finish it and talk about it.
Yeah. Right. And I can talk about Matt broke down and started crying at the top of Katahdin.
It's possible. Nothing's off limits. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I've done it 7 times and I break down every single time. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's funny to say, but I love that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's life changing. It will really change you. I think because when you do something hard like that, other stuff doesn't seem so hard. So it kind of mentally prepares you because it's really mental.
And like you always say, you can do hard things.
Yeah. And once you do something hard, you can do harder things, and they get harder and harder. Keep pushing past your comfort zone.
Yes. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Always be challenging yourself. Life. If you seek out hard things to do, life will be a lot easier. As funny as that sounds, life gets a lot, and things just seem a lot more trivial. Like the things that you thought were a big deal and hard before, they just seem like just not as important anymore. Once you start really challenging yourself.
For sure. I mean. Even 2 years ago, if my alternator broke, then I would have fucking had a nervous breakdown. But now I'm oh, whatever. Okay, I'll just borrow my mother-in-law's car. Big fucking deal. But it's just that's not comparable. But
but it's that 2 years ago, that would have been a big fucking deal to you. It would have been
the mental thing,
Yeah, doing hard things, it's great for your mental toughness and mental well-being. Yeah, because then when you do those hard things and you accomplish them, holy shit, that is so rewarding.
Yeah, even doing stuff for our business that like 2 years ago, we would have been like, oh my God, this is so daunting, this task.
Oh God, I can't.
Now it's like
2 years ago because I can remember 2 years ago, that's when the pandemic was first starting to lock everything down. Like I would never imagine that I'm where I am now with my business.
Oh, I know.
Hell no. Like
crazy.
Not in my wildest dreams, but I'm very thankful and grateful that I am, for sure. But it wasn't easy. It was not easy.
This is an example of consistency and what happens when you are consistent with something.
Yeah. Great. Well said, for sure.
And both of us have been consistent with like posting on social media
3 to 5 videos a day for years.
I mean, for fucking a year or two. We never gave up, no matter like how sometimes the comments would get to us, or if
the comments.
All kinds of stuff. We still created.
Yep. And because we knew that's what we needed to do, and we knew that by stringing together that consistency and doing the things that we know we needed to do, even when we don't want to do them, is what got us to where we are today. And that's not to say like we're fucking like crushing it and like, oh my God, look at us. No, it's just saying, like you said, just it says something about consistency. You can do something poorly, but do it consistently and still get amazing results.
Right. I'm not saying we didn't fuck up along the way. I mean, we learned a lot doing it, right?
A lot of blunders and missteps and
a lot of dancing. And
yeah,
boing, boing, boing.
A lot of pointing around, like what the hell am I doing?
God.
Pointing at
Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Now I look at people dancing in the videos. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Don't do
like
that.
I've been there. Yeah, for sure. But like that, some people, that's their thing though too. That's not to say anything about dancing on there, but like that's not for us, for sure. So that's what we thought we had to do when we first started out though, right? Because that was the perception of TikTok. Like, oh, it's a kids app, it's a dancing app, this and this and this, So when we started out, like, we did some of that stuff, like, because we thought that's what we were supposed to do. But then we started doing things that felt right instead of doing what others expected of us. Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. I think that's it. Boom. Done. Thumbs up.
That's what we have for you guys.
That's what we have for today. Awesome. Beth, thanks for sharing your background on getting into coaching. I love it.
You too, Matt.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. All right then.
Well, we will see you guys soon. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
All right. You guys, everybody have a good one. See you, Beth.
All right. Bye.
And that is a wrap for this episode of Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt. Did we help you cut through the bullshit? We want to know. Send us a DM on Instagram and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear them. And if you did find this one helpful, why not share this episode with a friend? I know I personally love it when a friend shares their favorite podcast with me, along with a text saying, oh my God, you have got to check out this podcast. You'll love it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss future episodes.